What is up, everybody? It's your boy Simon Khalil. Today we're going to have a different type of conversation. Let's get into the topic of stop caring about what people think about you, about your work, and just in general. Now, this is a little bit different than what I usually talk about. I usually talk about my camera gear, my photography career, my videos, my Instagram, all that. But I believe this plays a big part of what type of content creators actually create. And it has a lot to do with what people think about them. And this is sort of my mentality on why I stopped caring about what people think a very long time ago, actually. I think I've I'm not gonna say perfected, but like I generally don't give a shit about what people think about me or my work, and I feel like that's opened many doors, not just some, but many doors across the board in creating over the last several years. And that's really what I want to touch on. The biggest thing about creators is what they're putting out, the content that they're putting out, the type of content that they're putting out, what sort of content they want to put out based on what people will think. Now, this may be, I've had several different conversations. This may be, I don't want to do, as for an example, I've had photographers say, I don't want to do like a sexy shoot because then, what will people think of me? What will, my significant other, think, or what will the friends of my significant others think? And then it starts snowballing into these ridiculous conversations about, I can't believe you let your husband shoot sexy photos of other women. That to me is just a whole other self-conscious issue when it comes to your and your significant other's relationship. I'm trying not to ramble on specific things because I do have a lot of thoughts about what people think and how to deal with it, but this is my perspective. So I want to get one thing out of the way, simply because people say if you have a strong family and everyone in your family is supporting you and so on and so forth, that you're gonna make it far. I've heard that before. To be honest, it's bullshit, because I've had, my family completely supports me. My number one fan is my wife, 100%. But the rest of my family and friends, do they support me in what I do? 100%. Will they go out of their way to simply like, share, comment on the content that I create? Not necessarily. Will they make referrals? Not necessarily. That doesn't mean they don't support you. That just means that they are, they have your back, but not necessarily the way you thought they had your back. So I want to get that one piece out of the way, because I see people getting emotional about that one particular topic when family's involved. I honestly stopped caring about what everybody thought of me and my content years ago. And that includes my parents, my brother, my wife to a certain extent. Yes, I do make sure all the content I create is respectful. But I take their feedback and what they say to me and analyze it. But that doesn't mean I have to go with what they think on what I have to do moving forward. That's just something ridiculous. A content creator is the whole point of it is their art, their mentality, their way of doing things. Now, if you take that away, what's the point? And that's something that I want to help ingrain in other creators, because I feel it very important that you need to be authentic 100% of the time. If you're creating shit because other people want to see it, or it's lucrative in growing your social media, that's fine, but it has to be work that you want to create, because eventually you're going to get burned out. And I don't really understand the true meaning of burnout, because I do what I love regardless. So the true meaning of burnout, I'm still, not quite there in that aspect, but I really do enjoy what I do. So being authentic is something 100% needed across the board all the time. Another thing about stop caring about what people think of you is being a perfectionist. I've heard this several times, and it makes sense to me. The quote, "Done is better than perfect." Now, being a perfectionist will actually hold you back from creating the content you want to create, or releasing that content you want to create. I know creators that hold on to content for years because it's not perfect. And to me, I think that may be two things. That may be, one, they're a little self-conscious of the product that they created, but also, how's anybody going to know what you created if you're not putting it out? Just because, the lighting is not perfect, the audio is not 100% perfect, my framing here is not perfect. At the end of the day, just put out the content, right? If you're giving information or teaching people things that they want to know about, and the content isn't perfect, it doesn't matter. It's what's ingrained in that content is what matters, the substance of it. So there's definitely a problem with being perfectionist. Now, I get it. I mean, I just happen to be a photographer and a creator, so I do have the gear to make my videos look higher end, and that's fine. And I try not to do much with them, but I use what I have at this particular point. I mean, I shot most of my reels with my iPhone. I don't even shoot my reels with my my A7 IV. So majority of it is done with a cell phone. So just use what you have at the time, and stop making excuses about why you're not publishing your work, or actually posting the work that you've created for everybody to see. And the next thing is, really, at the end of the day, being self-aware of what motivates you, being self-aware of what you want to accomplish, being self-aware of what you're good at, what you're not good at, is something that's also very important. That if you take those things into consideration, you're going to stop caring what people think about you. I know what I'm good at. I know that I'm not good at certain items as well, and that's why I hire people or get help for those things I'm not good at. So you just have to be self-aware in that sense, as well as, hey, is this content that I'm creating actually useful? You could take a step back, and analyze your videos, or analyze the content you're creating, and if it's not hitting the marks that you're expecting, you may have to take a step back and realize, I need to switch it up. And there's nothing wrong with that. That may be deflating, which is another topic all in itself, but you should move forward with what you want to accomplish. And I'll be honest with you, the last topic that I want to bring up, some of you may be a little bit butthurt about it, and honestly, I don't care, is too many of you think that people give a shit. And honestly, no one cares. No one really gives a shit. People want to just ingest good content. That's basically it. No one gives a shit that you're why you're not creating. No one gives a shit that you're a perfectionist. No one gives a shit at the end of the day why you're not producing when you say you love producing this content. And to be honest, you're just not that important or significant in those people's lives to make it a priority to, support you on a day-to-day basis. And that's fine. I've realized over many years that I have supporters. I know who those supporters are. The ones that I thought were supporters of mine winded up not being supporters. And you know what? Everybody got their own shit to deal with. The world does not revolve around you and what you're creating. And I want to get that out there. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but like, there are times where I hear creators like, I can't believe that no one liked this or that, or why didn't this video go viral, or this or that. And sometimes I'm just like, guys, like, who gives a shit? Just create what you want to create and keep it moving. Now, self-awareness comes back into play if you're creating things that may not catch much attention down the line, but you need to be aware, self-aware that no one gives a shit. You're not that important in people's lives. You don't play a significant part in people's lives, and that's okay. But you know what? If you create dope shit and you do it for yourself, and you're teaching people how to do things, or becoming valuable to the people who are watching you, then you've accomplished your goal. What else is there? At the end of the day, I'm doing this YouTube thing. I enjoy doing this YouTube thing. I like creating these videos. I just want to share the knowledge that I've gained over the last 10 plus years about photography, about videography, about creating in general, my experiences, and hopefully it helps some of you out there. And I'm not saying it will, and for those of you I did not help, it is what it is. Hopefully something that I create does help, and we grow together, and you grow as a creator. That's all I want to accomplish when it comes to this YouTube thing. Now, I know these type of conversations I don't usually have on this channel, but I thought it was important to actually discuss what I've been hearing lately. And I've actually had a discussion with a few friends about, I guess, my approach to things when I don't give a shit about what people think about me. And for me, I believe that's been my greatest accomplishment, simply because the fact that I feel free to create whatever I want to create is why we do this after all. The freedom to create what we want to create. I'm gonna end a conversation here about this. Let me know your thoughts below. If you agree with me, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I believe this is a great conversation to have, especially when it comes to you and your work and what you want to create and what's holding you back from creating. Other than that, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so that way you're notified every time I drop a banger video. I'll be waiting in the comments. Deuces.